Good afternoon. Welcome to my home in Sonoma, California. My name is Joe Geist, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a Spam sandwich. Now, I realize the name may throw you off a little bit. Perhaps if it was called filet mignon, it would have got a better rap throughout all of these years. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of Spam, very briefly, so I don't bore you. And then we're going to talk about the ingredients and what it takes to make a Spam sandwich. So first off, Spam is currently made by the Hormel Food Corporation. The company was founded by George Hormel in the late 1890s in Austin, Minnesota. By the Great Depression, George's son Jay was heavily involved in the company, and Hormel did a successful fresh meat business. But all of the meats started to look the same, which made it difficult for Hormel to make its product stand out. So Jay Hormel put all of his energies into developing canned meats. Now, this introduced a new set of problems for the Hormel company because, for example, one problem they encountered was the heat often caused the cell walls to break down, and therefore all of the water would be released into the can. So when the consumer opened up the can, they would have dry meat and water in the can. Not good. So, after much experimentation, they realized that a precise amount of heat and salt must be used, and it's also very important that the meat be mixed and canned in a vacuum. Once they mastered this style, and they prominently featured the brand name on packaging, and they spent lavishly on advertising, Hormel successfully made Spam a household product in the United States. Excellent. However, it wasn't until World War II that cemented its reputation in its home country and introduced the product to consumers around the world. Now, going back a little bit, before the war, Spam and other foods were shipped to Allied countries as part of the Lend-Lease program. Briefly, the Lend-Lease program was from around 1941 to 1945, where the United States would ship certain materials, Spam included, to its allied countries such as China and Russia. When the United States soldiers went to Europe and the Pacific, they had canned Spam in their K rations. But Spam soon became breakfast, lunch, and dinner for these soldiers. That didn't sit real well with them. In fact, they would create songs about how much they hated Spam. Regardless of their opinion, soldiers who returned to the United States when the war was over brought a taste of Spam home with them. There you go, small history. You can tell your friends at a cocktail party. Now, let's change gears. What is it that we need to make a Spam sandwich? Not much, very basic ingredients. First off, of course, Spam. We also need some sourdough bread, of any kind. Also, just to tangent off for a second, I have a cold I was lucky enough to wake up with this morning, so forgive me. Mayonnaise. Ketchup, sharp cheddar cheese, sharper the better, a little bit of Pam for our pan here in a second, and that about does it. So what is the first thing we want to do? Well, pretty straightforward. You want to cut your Spam into 4 slices, and we're going to take that and we're going to put it into our pan as soon as we give it a little touch of Pam. Perfect. And we'll take these slices here and get this guy fired up. Right about medium heat is perfect. We're going to let it sit a while because we're going to work on our bread here in a second. Excuse my fingers. And we'll throw these guys on there like that and get them rocking. Okay, so while that is going, we want to prepare our bread. So, excuse me, I'm going to jump off camera for a second to grab a plate that I forgot. I'm back. Okay, let's get our sourdough out. We'll grab a couple slices of that. First thing we want to do is put a bunch of mayonnaise on it. More mayo, the better. Nice and healthy. So let's put a blob there and some there. Excellent. All right. There's our mayonnaise. Now we need some ketchup. A bunch of that, more the better. Perfect. Perfect. You can just kind of hear the arteries clogging as we make this. All right, let's spread this around. Let's turn this up a little bit, get these guys going. All right, so you got a small kind of mayo ketchup hybrid happening here. Smooth that around nice and evenly. Okay. I'm hoping to feature this sandwich, if this video takes off on YouTube, in one of Guy Fieri's restaurants here. His hometown is Santa Rosa, California, which is about 40 miles northwest of here. Okay, we got that going. I can hear the Spam rocking. That's good. Now, next thing we need to do is cut our sharp cheddar cheese into small slices, because when we flip our Spam, we're going to lay that cheese on top of it to have it melt on real nice. That's the kicker, okay? All right, so we have our Spam cooking here, frying up nicely. We're going to turn that over. Ooh, that looks good. I wish you could see it, but due to budget cuts because of Jerry Brown, I lost all my cameras. The only camera I have is this one. So the one I had in my ceiling that could show you the food as it cooks, just take my word for it. It smells great. Okay, we're flipping those guys. All right. As you can see, I have my cheese cut here, so we're ready to lay that on here. Let me give these guys one more flipperoo. Excellent. I hope we're all taking good notes on my wrist fork action. Okay, all right. Let's throw on this cheese. All right. Now, while that melts, our bread is here, okay? We're going to toast this just for a second back here in the toaster. Give it a little bit of crispness to go with the crispness from the Spam. Okay, throw it in there just for a couple minutes tops, not even that, about 1 minute if that. Okay, let that go. Now, I was born September 5th, 1974. That makes me 36 years old. It also makes me a Virgo. Virgos are clean freaks. So while this cheese is melting here, I'm going to start putting my things away. Okay? So just bear with me for 1 second. Put that ketchup back. So when my wife comes home, you know, it's a nice smooth transition. Okay. La la, my cheese. Okay. That's toasting. Move these around one more time. I tell you, if you were here, whew, if you could smell this, you'd have a whole different outlook on Spam. Oh. Fantastic. Okay. That's enough on this. Perfect. Ooh, perfect. Perfect. Excuse me. I think we're ready to go. So, we're going to turn off our burner, take our pieces of Spam, 2 pieces per page, per slice. Look at there. Look at that. Cheese melted. Perfect. Now, it takes talent to flip these two together without anything squirting out the side. So, again, if I could zoom in, I would. Look closely. Take both sides. Boom. I got a little excited there. Okay? Cut this guy in half. And lunch is served. I hope I've been successful in teaching you how to make a great Spam sandwich. Perhaps you can have movie night sometime coming up, and this could be the main course. So I thank you for taking the 5 to 10 minutes with me today here in Sonoma, California. You can always log on to my website, joegeistlovespam.com, if you need any more tips. But it's been my pleasure spending this little bit of time with you today. Enjoy!